Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a short one, well, short reloading video. It's going to be kind of a follow-up video of the last AR-15. We're kind of continuing on with the AR-15 reloading. So yeah, in the last where we left off in the AR-15 was the Hornady versus the Sierra video, and we found a couple good loads in that video. I was actually pretty impressed. Sierra kind of won overall because it didn't have a group over 2 inches, but Hornady got the smallest group. Pretty impressed with the results on both, actually. So Hornady, at the very beginning, the two first starting charges was the best at .362 and a .410. But then it opened up on the last two charges to 2 inch on the next one, and then 1.163 on the next one after that. So start off small, ended badly. Sierra, on the other hand, started off, it was kind of, you know, hit or miss throughout the whole thing. It started off bigger and then ended smaller. So Sierra started off with a .863, which is respectable, absolutely. It is a Krieger barrel though, so I mean, if it was a normal AR, I would say anything around an inch is great groups. ARs are not the most, no matter what anybody says, ARs are not the most accurate platform. If someone tells you different, then yeah, they're not being honest with you. ARs can be accurate, absolutely, but they're not the most accurate platform out there. And I know I do see on the internet a lot of people trying to get, you know, half-inch groups with ARs, and they're wondering what they're doing wrong, you know, especially new reloaders. And yeah, you're not doing anything wrong. 1 inch, if you're getting around an inch with a standard AR, AR-10, AR-15, whatever, then you're doing good. That's a decent group. Anything around an inch, just a hair over an inch or just a hair under an inch. Now, if you have an AR with a match barrel on it, that's a different story. So like this one has a Krieger barrel, you know, a nice Krieger barrel, heavy, I don't know if I would call it heavy profile or medium profile, but I think for AR, because it is called heavy AR barrel. So for AR platform, it's heavy, considered heavy, but for a bolt action, I would consider it, you know, medium to light profile, but yeah, either way. So yeah, so if you have an AR with a match barrel, whether it's AR-10 or AR-15, then definitely you're looking for groups under an inch, because to be all honest, the barrel makes the most difference. You got a barrel that's shooting 2 inches, change it. And change it for a nice Krieger or Criterion. I've had great luck with Criterion now. And Schillen. So I've tried Krieger, Schillen, and Criterion. I haven't tried anything else yet. But I'd like to try a Bartline sometime, and a few of the others. But yeah, so if you got a match barrel in your AR, then definitely you're looking for under an inch. Now, AR still ain't the most accurate platform, so 1/4 inch all the time, I doubt it. You know, you're probably not going to get 1/4 inch all the time. Well, as you saw in this last video, the first Hornady group was under 1/4 inch, .362. So we'll see if that gun can hit, you know, hold 1/4 inch all the time. So yeah, so this video is basically going to be the follow-up, continuation on that, and to finish up our groups. We're going to take the two best groups out of the Hornady and Sierra, best groups out of each one, not 2 out of each. But so we're going to take the best group out of the Hornady load and the best group out of the Sierra load. And I don't know if I want to mess with the seating or just start doing some 5-shot groups of that load. I think I'm just going to do, because it's already at .362 for the best Hornady group, and the best Sierra group was .346. So that's, I don't think I'm going to mess with the seating depth. In the last video, if you didn't know, then the seating depth was at mag length for the last video, so I'll probably just keep it there, or a little bit under mag length. Max mag length in this gun is 2.265, I think. Yeah, 2.265, and yeah, I went down to 2.255 just to give it a good 10 thousandths clearance. That way we made sure it you know, fed perfectly. So, oh, sorry guys, bumped ya. So yeah, I took the measurements of my brass brand new, wrote it in my book under the stag arms, and I just measured the fire brass and the neck. So the new neck, so the brass brand new was .244 diameter neck, and for fired brass it was .253. So it blew out like 7 thousandths, or yeah, around 7 thousandths, somewhere around there. The shoulder was .353 new and .355 fired. So pretty good tolerance in this barrel. Like I said, it's a match barrel, so wouldn't expect anything different. And the web was .373 new and .374 fired. So brass didn't stretch very much, which is really good. And yeah, it got some good groups out of you know, non-fire form brass, and just first loads we kind of, you know, loaded up. So yeah, this video is going to be just that, taking the best Hornady group, taking the best Sierra group, and firing some 5-shot groups out of there. That way we can start getting an average of what the gun can do. Like I said, I do load development with just three shots each because it just saves on components. Don't need 5 shots. I recommend anyone to start off with 3-shot groups for load development. But once you get a good idea, like with the bolt gun, I would move right to, you know, seating depth. But with this one, since I'm getting great groups right off the bat with the seating depth I was at, which was mag length, which, let me see here, I don't know, did I wrote down the, what that jump was at mag length for that bullet. That's one good thing to know. Okay, so the jump at mag length for the Sierra Match King was about 100 thousandths jump, because overall length. Oh, by the way, guys, I did get my bullet comparator in for the 223. So now measurements from here on out for the 223 is going to be, for bullet, is going to be CBTO. Like I said in the last video, it's going to be base to tip in that video only, because I didn't have my comparator yet, or just my insert for 22 caliber bullets. So from here on out, it's going to be CBTO, and it will always be CBTO when I give out measurements, unless I say otherwise. So yeah, so for the SMK 53 grain Sierra Match King, it ended up being the base to tip overall length was 2.355, and magazine was 2.255. So there's 100 thousandths jump for the Sierra, and it shot really well. And for the Hornady, it was about 51 thousandths jump, because the overall length was 2.306. So it was right around 50, around 50 thousandths overall, or jump. So yeah, I'll probably just keep that. Like I said, I'm never gonna single feed a AR. It's just kind of pointless to me. So we're gonna keep it just under mag length and go from there. Both shot a under a 1/4 inch group, and that's freaking damn good for an AR. That's damn good for an AR with a matched barrel as well. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. I may back off this Sierra just a hair, because up at that top end, we were starting to see just a smidgen of shiny, a little shiny spot on the brass. So I'm not, I wouldn't load, I wouldn't keep the load up that high anyways. So I'm going to back down just a hair on the Sierra Match King. I'll probably do 28 point, let's see here, probably 28 even. Yeah, somewhere around there. I'll probably do 28.1 or 28 even. We'll see. But so yeah, those are going to be the loads. We're going to do a bunch of 5-shot groups of those, and that will be the next 223 video. Now, I'm not going to show you a lot of the reloading. This one's just going to be a quick one, and we'll get out to the range. The brass is right now pretty much all prepped, ready to go. We just need primer, we need to chamfer and deburr, and that's it. I'm pretty sure I measured all these cases. I'm going to double check, but I don't think any of these need trimmed. So yeah, next step will be chamfer, deburr, and then primer. So we'll see you in the next step. Alright guys, we're going to do a little change up again on this brass. I just noticed the rim on those PPU cases was actually bent, and the last set I fired on the last video, I noticed they were going in and out of the shell holder very hard. But I didn't really pay attention to it. They were going in hard to begin with, and then when I took them out, they came out even harder because they were bending in the shell holder as well. So we're going to switch to some nozzler brass. We got some brand new nozzler brass. We're going to do 25 pieces of that. So this next reloading wasn't going to be with Fireform brass anyways. We may retire this PPU brass that I fired, that's once fired as well. We'll see. I'm going to check it in the shell holder again, and if it goes in fine, then what we'll end up having is 25 pieces of PPU and 25 pieces of nozzler. And I'll always let you know which one's going to be fired. And we may do a video on that too, which one's better, the nozzler brass or the PPU brass. I mean, that's probably an easy video to do right there. I mean, the nozzler, I just resized several of them in there. Just, they're phenomenal. They're very consistent. The PPU was actually very consistent headspace. They were all at 1441 across the board, was really good. But I noticed the rim, that bugged me. The rim on, this is all brand new PPU brass, but the rim on them was bent. So we're going to do 25 pieces of the nozzler, brand new nozzle brass, gorgeous looking brass. So we're going to go with that, and it's sizing really well. Alright guys, I'm bumping all of these brand new nozzler brass. I'm bumping all of them just a 0.5 thousandths. Brand new, they're reading 1.4415, and I'm bumping them to 1.4405. This one's 440. Some are reading 4405. Yep, there we go. So yeah, so right around 0.5 thousandths. just to kiss the shoulder and make sure they're getting full length resized. These are brand new brass, so it should fit in every single gun. So really, it's not necessary, but I like to minimally size brand new brass just to get it into the die and you know, kiss the shoulder. You don't want to set back the shoulder 2/1000ths right from brand new brass, because then you're working the brass way too much, because it's going to stretch forward to fit your case. You know, brand new brass is all made to fit every gun. You know, that's what it is. It's made to fit into every rifle. So that could be way less than your chamber already. So you don't want to bump 2/1000ths on brand new brass, because then when you fire it, it's going to form to your chamber, and it's going to stretch out way more than what it needs to, because it was already brand new brass, which is made to fit your chamber loose. Then you bump it 2/1000ths, so it's even looser. So there you go. But yeah, just letting you guys know, I'm bumping it 0.5 and we're going minimal on that. So yeah, I will see you guys in the powder stage, because the brass is pretty much all ready to go. Alright guys, I think you guys can see the electronic scale number. Alright, let's see here. Right there should be good. It's saying 27.6 on this scale. And this one's 27.7. Okay, so yeah, that's what I've been getting right along. Here, let me move this down so I can tilt up the camera just a tad for you guys. So I always move the funnel and cap the bullet. Nah. Like I said, when I turn on the camera, shit goes to hell quickly. It's always like that. Alright guys, I'll finish up the Hornady and yep, bring you guys back for one of the Sierras. Alright guys, we are seating the Hornady bullets. I figured I'd get them all seated before we move on to the Sierra. So we're looking for 2.255 overall length. I'm at 2.327, so let's get to 2.255, and then I'll start doing base to ogive. Alright, so I gotta come down a little bit. Now we're at 2.270. We're looking for 2.55. .58, 2.58, a little bit more. .255. Okay, so now let's put the comparator on, and let's get a CBTO, cartridge based ogive. Like I said, that's the number I'm pretty much always going to use. The only reason why I didn't start off with that is because, like I said, last time I didn't have the comparator, so I didn't know what the number was for 2.55, the CBTO. Okay, so overall length, base to tip is 2.255, and base to ogive is 1.925. Let me write that in my book. That's the Hornady, and we'll have to come up with the number for the Sierra after. Okay, so I'm gonna seed a couple of these, and now watch how consistent that number comes out base to ogive. .9265. Let me make sure I seeded that all the way. Yep, there we go. I didn't seed it all the way. 1.925. Now some of this variation can be your primer, if your primer isn't all the way in. Okay, yep. 1.926. Okay, perfect. Last one I'll show you. 1.925. Alright guys, I will bring you back for the Sierra, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, we're going to move on to the Sierra now. 53 grain Sierra. The best load ended up being, like I said before, 28.2. I'm going to back down 1/10 just because 28.5 started showing pressure signs. 28.2 was pretty good, but I'd like to go down just 1/10, and I think it'll be perfect. Alright, so that's zeroed out. Can you guys see that? I think so. Alright, and the electronics been running, so I'm shooting for 28.1, so the electronics you're going to see 28.2 because they run about 1/10 higher than these balance beams. Alright, let's try that. It's 28.3. Let's come off that just a little bit. Take a couple grains out. 28.2. Alright, perfect. I try like hell to make some of these reloading quick, but it's so hard. So hard to make the reloading videos quick. Oh, 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 oh. That might be just a hair over, but if it is, oh well. Now another little trick for you guys for storing powder. I store powder in, I got a little mini fridge. It's broken, so it's not turned on, but I got a little mini fridge, and I keep all my powder in the mini fridge because refrigerators are, as long as it's not in the sun, it shouldn't build up heat, and they should control moisture pretty well because they have a seal on them, and they do pretty good. So that's how I store my powder, and it's really, works really well. Alright, 28.2. I'll move you up so you guys can see the chart, me charge it. There you go. Good to go. Tap it a couple times, move it over, plug it up. Alright, I'll bring you guys back for the seating. Alright guys, I'm going to seat a few of these Sierra bullets. Now, I had to back out on the seating stem, and because I'm looking for an overall length of 2.255. Now the Hornady's CBTO at an overall length of, base to tip of 2.255 was a CBTO, cartridge base to ogive, of 1.925. Now that ain't going to be the same for the Sierra, I don't think. We'll check it out, but it will probably be a different number. So you got to start off first. Once you get a CBTO number for all your bullets, then you can just keep going after that number and it will be the same overall length. But until you establish what the CBTO number is compared to the overall length or base to tip number is, then you have to do all the bullets separately, or all the different bullets separately. Okay, so start off by doing the base to tip. Dial in, you want your overall length at I want my overall length at 2.255. Let me double check, 2.255. So we're sitting at 2.299. So let's go down a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more actually, because 2.284. Go down quite a bit more. Try not to overshoot it. 275. 268. 2.268. So we're looking at a 5.5. 258. 575. So let's go down just a hair more. Now I do have my comparator on there, but I'm doing overall length because I'm not putting it this way. I'm just using the flat surface to get the overall length. All right, 2.255. Now flip the cartridge around and see what the CBTO is. Hornady's was 1.925. And Sierra's is 1.919. Now I hope you guys see what I mean. If I would have just used the same CBTO for the Hornady as for the Sierra, I would have been over. It would have been at overall length of like 2.260 or 65 or somewhere around there. So I'd be over my limit. Now it's not the end of the world, but if you're right up close to the lands, then that would mean you're not doing everything accurately. You're into the lands without knowing it. So it's good to, you need to know where you're at and what you're testing. Because if you think you're testing 5 off the lands and technically you're jamming into the lands, then the test is just shot all to hell because you're not doing what you're thinking you're doing. So yeah. That's just to show you guys you need to start off with every bullet. Now I'm going to write that down for the Sierra, and I can do that, shoot for that number, that CBTO every time now, and I will get an overall base to tip number of 2.255. So every bullet has a little bit different ogive. And every bullet, you gotta mess with that overall length 2 CBTO number. Alright, So another thing I want to note on that real quick before we go to the range is the Hornady CBTO that we took today was the mag length, not the OAL length. As you guys saw in the earlier video, I took the OAL length of every bullet to the gun, to the chamber, to touching the lands. Now, all these CBTOs isn't the equivalent to that number, it's the equivalent to the 2.255 magazine length. So in my notes I write all three numbers in. I write, for bolt action don't matter because you're pretty much always doing your CBTO number out to touching the lands or you know, whatever it is. So I have three numbers in there. I write the overall magazine length number, I write the OAL to that and CBTO number to that, and I write the bullet to lands, touching the lands number, I write the OAL to that and the CBTO number to that. So you're writing four numbers in and for every bullet. So hopefully that clears shit up for you guys. For every bullet you gotta write all four of those numbers down because it's different for every single one. Now I don't, like I said, the OAL, magazine OAL number, I just write in the top of the booklet, mag OAL number, and that one stays the same no matter what because it's the base to tip OAL number. That will never change. Alright guys, we'll see you on the range. Hopefully I didn't confuse you guys too much. And we'll see you guys out on the range. Alright guys, we're down at the range, shooting 100 yards like always, and we are confirming with some 5-shot groups that our Hornady and Sierra loads are good. We're gonna shoot the ones that we just loaded up at the bench, and it's 3 groups each for each bullet and 5-shot groups. Alright, let's get it started. I got one fowler as well. Alright, just shot the fowler. Now let's start recording some groups. We'll shoot one 5-round group of Hornady, then one 5-round group of Sierra. Alright. Alright, yep, brass all looks good, which I figured it would. Alright, we'll move on to Sierra next. Alright, next, some Sierra. I'm going to check the brass, just because this was on the higher end of the load. Yeah, primer still has rounded edges and no ejector swipe. So, if you guys remember correctly, the last time I shot this, it was at 28.2. Well, I backed it down a tenth. We're shooting 28.1, and that helped out. Even just a tenth helped quite a bit. Alright. Alright, next, 5-shot of Hornady. Alright guys, I got a brass catcher on there now. I'm fucking sick and tired of chasing down brass. Alright, next, 5 shots of Hornady. second dot for Hornady. Yeah, there's 4 in there now. There we go. Alright, now, next, Sierra. There we go. Alright, second dot on the Sierra. And I can see this one fully. Looks like there's already bolt holes at this dot, but I don't know. I probably messed up. We'll see. These are all going at the second dot in on the Sierra side. Yeah, that's why I hate these brass catchers. Yeah, these brass catchers, man, they fucking suck sometimes. This one don't have a wide enough. Yeah, let me try that. There we go. Alright, next is Hornady. Alright, last round of Hornady. Hopefully this brass catcher does better. Alright, last round. Sierra. 5 shots on the last dot of Sierra. Yeah, gonna have to buy a better brass catcher, definitely. Barrel ain't too bad. Alright, that should be it. Bolt hole open. Yep. Alright. Alright guys, we'll see you up the bench, take a look at the brass, and take a look at the groups. Alright guys, back up at the bench. Taking a look at the brass. All looks pretty good. Like I said, for the Sierra, we did go down 1/10 because we were experiencing, in the last loads we shot at 28.2, I mean, extremely minor swipe on the back of the brass. The primers were still all round, had rounded edges, and so it all looked good, but I still wanted to back it off just a hair. So I backed it off 1/10. We did 28.1 instead of 28.2 for the Sierra. And for Hornady, we kept it the same. For the best group, ended up being 27.6, which was the starting charge. Now we can probably go a little bit lower for Hornady, but I don't think I'd want to do that anyways, just because this was towards this very starting, edge of the powder charges anyways, so low data. So this is the brass. Let's see if I can get you in better shot. So yeah, all looks pretty good. No ejector swipes, all rounded edges on them. And like I told you guys, we swapped to nozzler brass because that PPU, yeah, I found all the rims were bent on them, and that was brand new brass. So yeah, let's check out groups. Now groups, like I said, I can definitely do better than what you're gonna see here. And I may reload these. I may not do 3 groups each. I may do just 1 or 2 groups of 5. But today was a shitty day. One, I couldn't see the first 2 dots because the grass was all grown up, and I wasn't going to go get the damn weed whacker. I was all set up before I realized that. And so yeah, excuses. But yeah, I couldn't see these first 2 dots, and yeah, it wasn't the best day today. But so, I mean, the groups aren't too bad. But so that was the first shot we took today, which was the Hornady, which ended up being .966. And then second group we shot, we took turns going from Hornady to Sierra. So first Sierra group was 1.5 inch, 1.583, and then we went to Hornady again, and that ended up being a 1.315. And next Sierra ended up being, the last 2 Sierras ended up being really good. 0.851. And then the last Hornady one ended up being about 1 inch. And the last Sierra one about the same as the second one, 0.819. So all in all, not horrible. For a Krieger barrel, can definitely do better, but like I said, a lot of this, if you guys see that right there, let me flip the, I was wondering why the target was smoking down there. Well, holding up my piece of board that I clip these targets to, I have metal rod in behind them. Basically, it's just a pallet staked into the ground, and with some metal rods. And I was like, why is that smoking down there? Because it's going into a berm, so I understood a little bit of dust, because it's just a bunch of sand. It's a sand berm or dirt berm, so dust kicks up every time anyway, so a little bit of smoke happens. But it kept smoking. I'm like, what the hell? And yeah, that's why. So I ended up hitting one of the metal things, and it caught the target on fire. And that's why in the video you guys are going to hear me say, I think there's bullet holes already at this one that I was shooting. Well, that's why. I don't know what one it came from. If it was one of these and hit the metal thing and sent a spark over to here, I'm not sure. Either way, you guys got to see in the video that I was shooting at this one and could already see bullet holes on it. Well, it was just this. It was just a bunch of metal shrapnel. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny once I looked at the target. But yeah, so for a Krieger barrel, honestly, definitely should be under 1 inch. If I was shooting that all day long, I'd be happy. 0.8 is, for an AR barrel, even though it's Krieger, ARs are not the most accurate platform out there. But with a matched barrel on an AR, you should definitely be, your hope should be set on, or your expectation, should be around under 1 inch, definitely under 1 inch for a matched barrel on an AR. So yeah, if I was shooting 0.8 the whole time, I'd be happy, but a lot of those are inch and a half, and yeah, that. So what I may do, so like I said, a lot of that is probably me. So I may load up a couple more groups of 5 and go down and cut that grass and make sure, or just have the groups at the top of the. That was the other problem, is all these were on the bottom of the the target, so the grass was all covering most of these. So yeah, all excuses aside, I'll probably load up a couple more of these just to make sure it was the load or me, and I'll tape that one too, that way you guys can see, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.